Raja Yoga was compiled by Sage Patanjali in the Yoga Sutras about 2,300 years ago. And it's also called the Royal Road. And it's a science of controlling the wave of thoughts and turning our mental and physical energy into spiritual energy. So let's look at the 8 steps. So if we start with, if you first of all imagine a ladder with 8 steps, a vertical ladder, right? So it's a progressive series. So that means you start on the first step. And on the first step, you have what is called Yama. And Yama has 5 injunctions under it. And Yama also can translate into restraint or so the nature which we have as human beings, which is not so positive. Let's look at it. First, we have Ahimsa, which is non-violence. And non-violence means non-violence in word, mind, and deed. So it's kind of not so difficult for most of us not to be violent physically, but what about in our thoughts? And what about in the words that we speak? So on a daily basis, that's also quite easy until somebody provokes us like really badly, and then try to observe how your mind is reacting to the provocation. And also when you think about Ahimsa, you can also think about it's like compassion or empathy. And that being said, you have to remember that it should also go towards yourself. So for example, don't accept people to behave badly to you. And also when you think about it in relation to asana practice, like the physical practices that we do, also there, be gentle with your body. Like don't destroy the body in order to achieve a physical position. Let's move on. The next injunction under Yama is Satya. It means truthfulness. It's again in mind, word, and deed. And that also, if you see it in relation to your asana practice, to your physical practice, be honest to yourself about your limitations and remember the reason for why you're practicing yoga. It's not to achieve a certain position. It is to get the energy moving around in the body and to see how you are perceiving the postures that you are doing. Like, how are you feeling if you can't make a posture, for example? Do you get annoyed or do you get angry? And that also can translate into how you're handling your life. So each physical yoga position that we are doing is supposed to teach us something about ourselves, so we consciously can go and fix it to a better position. And of course, truthfulness also means don't tell lies and don't lie to yourself also. And in the next injunction, on the third injunction under Yama, we have Asteya. It means non-stealing or non-copying. And after Asteya, we have Brahmacharya, which means moderation in all things. And before, like when Patanjali wrote this, he meant celibacy. But in these modern days, we just translate it into moderation in all things. So be moderate in your diet, for example, in what you eat, be choosy, be picky. And also in your screen time, for example, how much time are you wasting on Netflix, for example? And your sex life also, their moderation. It doesn't matter, no matter what. I mean, it can also be drinking coffee, for example. It's okay to drink coffee as long as you don't overdo it. Basically for you, not to be a slave to your habits. So yoga is all about freedom, and here it's also about freedom, how not to enslave ourselves to certain desires. And under Brahmacharya, we have Aparigraha, which means non-possessiveness, no greed and no accumulation. And it also actually means not to receive gifts, because how nice it is to receive gifts, it can come and bite you in the future. Somebody can give you something which you really needed at the time, and then they can spend the next 30 years complaining about what they gave you. And so that turns into something which was supposed to be beautiful can turn into something not so good. And that was about Yama. That was the first step on the ladder. On the next step, we have Niyama. And that is observances that are fostering positive quality. First injunction, we have Satya, which means purity or cleanliness. And here is meant to purify your mind and also keep your hygiene well. Keep your body clean, and also the surroundings where you're living, keep them clean, and especially the place where you're practicing yoga. And after that, we have santos, which means contentment. And from this, you can also say, don't complain, because complaining does not help anything, even if it's you are entitled to complain, something goes wrong or bad, and you are completely right. You have your right to complain. It's just that that energy of complaining is making things worse. So, and also contentment, like maybe you don't have so many things to be content about, but the ones that you have, be content about those. Because when you're giving out the vibration of contentment, more good things can come. And after that, we have tapa, which means austerity. And here it's talking about to be really stern when it's regarding your yoga practice. Like, yoga is a mystical science, and when you're practicing yoga, many people, especially family, really does not understand what you're practicing or what you're going through. And even if you are trying to explain it to them, they are bound to misunderstand, because if somebody has never tried to do yoga and have never meditated in their life, they cannot understand what you're doing, but they will judge you and make you feel sad and bad. And don't give it to them. Don't stop your practice of something so positive and so beautiful that yoga is, to satisfy people who don't know what they're talking about. After that, we have Swadhyaya, which is the study of sacred text and study of self. So when you are reading the sacred text, like the original works of yoga, for example, or really old works on yoga, it gives you a lot of inspiration. It also clarifies what you are already thinking yourself or perceiving yourself. So you get really happy. Like, maybe you have been through something and you are reading about it in a book, and it's completely normal, because everything what you are going through, all yogis before you have been going through the same thing. So it's really supportive to read these books, and it also makes you understand that you are on the right path, and this is a part of it. And whatever is difficult for you is just, when you are persistent and resilient, it just makes you stronger internally. And the next thing, it's also, there's both the study of sacred text and also the study of yourself. Like, observe yourself, study yourself, see how you react, see how you're responding, watch your train of thoughts. Learn about who you really are when nobody else is watching and you are meditating and things are coming up, either from your mind or from your soul. And the last one is Isvara Pranidhana, which means the constantly living with an awareness of the divine presence. And that one is also really, really important because it kind of amplifies everything that you are doing. It amplifies your energy. It makes you feel secure and safe. And if somebody is unjust towards you or treat you really horrible, when you have the awareness of the divine presence, it makes you like so much more powerful. And yeah, as I say, it makes you feel safe. And when you are in need of something from the divine, it's also pretty handy to remember the divine is watching. Keep on going with the good stuff and everything will be fine. Have asana, and asana are the physical postures that we are doing. And actually, asana just means to be able to keep a posture for a prolonged time. So it doesn't necessarily mean learn 600 postures and perfect yourself in them. It just means to, when you practice daily or every second day, for example, you get more and more strong and flexible in the postures. And the postures are meant for you to open your energy so the energy can run freely in your body and in your thoughts also. And the postures makes us also really have a positive mind. It makes you happy. It definitely does. And also, according to yoga, sickness starts to happen in your body when energy is blocked somewhere. So we are also doing asanas for that. But most of all, we are doing them to come to a posture that we can keep for a longer time. So we can sit in that posture and meditate and listen to our soul and unify with the divine. And on the next step after asana, we have pranayama. Pranayama means expanded energy. And it's the breathing exercises. And the breathing exercises, the way that they work actually is that they wash your thoughts away. It's like you're putting your mind in a washing machine, and this breathing is swishing all your thoughts away so that your mind and your wave of thoughts are coming to a kind of halt. There is a minute where there's nothing going on because you have pumped all of this out. Pranayama also helps on the lungs to massage the lungs and to push out all the stale air from your lungs so you can inhale more clean oxygen. And the way they also work is that they're actually a natural step into the next step, which is pratyahara. And pratyahara means to withdraw the senses inside your body. So everything external stop to have importance at this point. You are just listening to the inside, to your breath. You are observing how your lungs are breathing and what happens with the body every time you inhale and every time you exhale. And you're listening to the inside. And after pratyahara, naturally there will come dharana because you are concentrated on listening to yourself, and dharana means concentration. And when you are concentrating on what is happening inside of yourself, you're concentrating on observing your thoughts rather than to have a dialogue inside of your mind. And when your mind is concentrating on one point, you are coming into the situation that is called dhyana, which is meditation. And when you are absorbed in your meditation, where you are just basically observing the observer, it's like you're taking steps away from yourself and you're watching yourself, observing yourself. When you get absorbed in that feeling where there's no thought, but there's just a state of perception of feeling your feelings. There's not anymore a language. There's just the feelings, the emotions, and you observing them. And when you get completely absorbed in that state of meditation, you enter into samadhi. And that is happening all by itself. Well, some states of samadhi, it's like you will be asked if you really want this, if you are really ready for this. And if you say, yes, I'm ready, then you're going. And it's a totally incredible feeling. I think it's different from everyone, what they're experiencing in samadhi. But it's definitely one experience that you will remember for all your life, and you will not question if there is a bigger energy than your own anymore, and you are not questioning whether you are merging with that energy or not. And when it comes to Yama and Niyama, like the first two steps, they are the pillars of yoga. So they are upholding the whole system. Your moral and your ethics are upholding the whole system of yoga. And the reason why they're doing that is because they're based on positive vibration and good energy going out from you. Also, we call the first four stages, like Yama, Niyama, Asana, and Pranayama, we call them the external limbs, because it's all things that you're doing with your body. And the next four stages, Pratyahara, Dharana, and Dhyana, and Samadhi, we call them the internal limbs, because they're all from perception and within, and they're passive. And that was all I had to say about Raja Yoga and the 8 limbs to yoga. I think everybody who's doing yoga should understand that. There's also a very big difference between Raja Yoga and Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga is basically a preparation for Raja Yoga, and Hatha Yoga is most of the modern style of yoga that you see now. They are focused on the physical positions, and they are not, and they should also be focused on the breathing, but what I have seen from teaching in the West, they are not teaching breathing exercises. And I had a friend who had been doing yoga for years, 3-5 years from the same teacher, and she still said, you are not ready for pranayama. But according to the books that I'm reading, it's advised to do the physical postures, the asana, on a regular basis for 3 months, and then you're ready for pranayama. Because you just have to get to know how to be sensitive to your body, how to listen to your body. And again, you have to open the energy, because you have to open the energy before you expand it. And before you expand your energy in pranayama, you should come from a base of having a good vibe, a good energy, a positive outlook and vision on life. Before you don't want to expand something which is not good, right? So I think that's all I have to say today about Raja Yoga. There will probably be more, and when I close this video, I will probably also remember that I forgot something. Like switching on the light on my ring light. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.